how does your family help you to get out of enemy mode? One of the things we used to say in the men's movement is your best predictor of your relationship with your kids, we'd say to the men, is what your wife says about you when you're not there. In other words, she is the interpreter of your motive. She's the interpreter of your mood. She's the interpreter of why is dad irritable today. She's the interpreter of why isn't dad here at your baseball game or whatever it is, you know. And how we are seen by the other members of the family becomes our way of getting out of enemy mode. You know, it's kind of interesting. Kids at about 4 years of age figure parents do whatever they want. So I remember one particular case, a father was going to take his daughter out for ice cream. She was 4. And on the way home, he got delayed by a car accident followed by a shootout. So there's, you know, he's hiding behind the car. So he came home and he tells his 4-year-old daughter, sorry, I didn't get here to take you out for ice cream. You know, I was in a car wreck and, you know, then the shooting started and I was hiding behind the car. And to the 4-year-old, it's like, why would daddy rather do that than go to ice cream with me? These adults are strange because they do whatever they want, you know, and that's their understanding of how the world works. So you have to interpret that. And, you know, you've probably heard somebody say, you've never said it yourself, I'm sure, but as someone said, you'll understand this when you're older. You know, you have to keep interpreting as other people grow in their ability to do relationships, how things are actually working. And that's what gets you out of enemy mode when you come home and perhaps your wife is annoyed with the children and she might say, well, you take over for a little while. I'm going to go out and do something. It happened at my house anyway. I can't really speak for the two of you, but that gives that gives you a chance to get out of enemy mode. You know, somebody else take over, and usually you say things like, yeah, she's really tired. It's been a lot going on today. You know, like, you guys have really been annoying her a lot. You should probably go and clean that room that you've been told 17 times to clean, and you will find she won't be so irritable. You know, this is how we have a rescue attachment, which is what we hope in families. But to have a rescue attachment, you actually have to be able to stay attached during emotions. And that's what most families have some kind of a breakdown. It's, well, we do okay when you're sad, but if you get angry, then we don't know how to do rescue attachments, or, so one of the emotions is usually the downfall of, well, we can get out of enemy mode until we hit this one. And there's 6 that are hardwired in the brain. So you have to be able to do all 6, or sooner or later you have one that'll keep getting your family stuck.
Okay, now I want to know what those emotions that have a hard time reattaching. I think I might know, but
we're trying to get them all back to joy.
Yeah.
So, do you remember?
No. I mean, I remember getting back to joy, but I don't remember what the kids' emotion are, because I feel like I'm in enemy mode right now. Because I'm like, I'm not in enemy mode, but I'm thinking of our kids.
The sadness,
yeah,
right? Disgust, anger, shame.
Yeah.
What am I missing?
Is annoyance one? Because that's what I feel like the emotion my son has when I walk in the room.
That's anger.
Anger is actually a continuum. It's not a single level of it. So very, very low levels of anger usually come out as saying, I'm bored. You ever heard a child say, I'm bored, and everything irritates them? And it's like, yeah, well, how about this? That's very light level. And then at the extreme level of anger, you're in a rage. But yeah, so irritable is, I think we've got 5 so far. The 6th one is hopeless despair.
Okay.
So getting out of all of those will bring you back. Well, if staying in them, you'll be in enemy mode, but getting back to joy gets you out.
Well, yeah, more or less. Basically, if you remember when you're angry, I want to have a good relationship with you, you can get yourself out of enemy mode. If you have anybody else in the family who can handle it. So let's say one of us is angry, And because that's one of the common ones that people don't know how to handle. So I say, well, your brother, let's say, is angry, well, we want to be on your brother's side and be part of this family together. So let's go find out what's making him angry and see what we can do about it. That attitude towards, we're going to use this anger to solve a problem within the family, is enough to get you climbing out of enemy mode. Like, okay, we're going to see if we can work this out together. If you go, oh, he's angry. Now, what did you do to make him mad? And let's make sure we don't do that again, or whatever it is. And we don't use it for a relationship. We just say, well, let's find out whose fault it is. That's a nice way to stay in enemy mode. Because
would that turn the person towards the parent as in enemy mode as well?
Usually,
Could it do that? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So if you can look at somebody and go, wow, they're sad, maybe we should find out what's going on for them. Then you're on your path out of enemy mode. It's like, well, I don't have to be, upset with them because they're sad. Or if they're afraid, well, I wonder what's scaring them. Let's go find out. I wonder if they're feeling hopeless, let's go find out. And
that reminds
really,
me of being
curiosity.
Yes,
Curiosity is
curious kind of changes it and helps keep you relational.
Yeah, curious is an aspect of the highest part of the brain, the prefrontal cortex. And so your brain is running pretty well if you're curious. So I use that one of my early determinations on something, as soon as I lose my curiosity, I know I'm starting to get in trouble, and my chances of getting into enemy mode are pretty high.